Hello and welcome to my presentation on Equity Investigation and Improvement Plan. This presentation comprises of an internal comparative analysis conducted in a small rural multidisciplinary college in a community called Malvern in Jamaica. The total enrollment is approximately 540 students, three-quarters of which belongs to the teacher education program and the other quarter for the community college program. There are currently 9 departments and 3 faculties. Data for this assignment was obtained from 3 departments across the various faculties. These are Social Sciences, Information and Communication Technology Department, and Hospitality and Tourism Management Department. The campus is comprised of mostly old buildings. However, some areas are fitted with more modern facilities for daily operation. Many of the buildings are in need of repair or maintenance. Classrooms also need to be retrofitted with more modern technologies to enhance the teaching and learning process. The college lacks many things: lecture theatre, a proper multimedia center, proper equipment for foods lab, and garden care and maintenance. To ascertain data for this comparative analysis, a Google form was used to collect data from representatives across the departments. Disparities across departments were evident. Traditional exclusionary attitudes and practices were noted, as the Hospitality and Tourism Management Department felt as though they did not receive the recognition that they deserve because they were not part of the teacher education program at the institution. The teacher education program, as indicated earlier, is the more common of the 2 programs that are being offered at the institution. And so the HTM department felt as though they were excluded and they did not feel as though they were recognized as well as the other departments in the teacher education program. There were major disparities in the perception of stakeholders in regards to their level of community partnership internally within the college community as well as externally within the surroundings. And the HTM department, they indicated that they did not at all feel satisfied with their level of partnership internally and externally. The author's perception of educational exclusion. Educational exclusionary attitudes and practices have significant pedagogical, curricular, leadership, and moral implications. Every human being has a right to equal opportunity with every other person for the development of whatever gifts he or she has. Challenging injustice requires that people be brave, embracing the problems of others. We must endeavor to think, talk about, and integrate any disadvantaged or marginalized groups in our lives. We must strive to avoid educational exclusionary attitudes and practices. From the data collected, an improvement plan was drafted. This incorporated all stakeholders. The goal: create a more inclusive environment. The first phase of the improvement plan is to devise a strategic mission. Here, the board is expected to exercise social morality, a willingness to re-examine or revise current convictions or policies. Administrators are required to plan strategically to create an inclusive culture by addressing the exclusionary practices in the institution. Other stakeholders, including the community, the wider community, the students, faculty, other support staff, were required to bargain. They were required to participate in the process, negotiate, jockey for positions. Out of this, goals and decisions were developed. In this strategic mission phase, stakeholders would challenge any identified form of injustice. The second phase of the improvement plan was to implement the plan. In this phase, there are four major stages. In stage one, articulation. Stage two, building. Stage three, creating. And stage four, defining. All stakeholders are required to engage in ongoing strategic conversations. Participation, motivation, and mutual respect are paramount. Last but by no means least, we must evaluate the plan. Here we will be judging the plan to identify its strengths and weaknesses. Factors to be considered include how pedagogically sound is the plan? How inclusive is the plan? Does the plan ensure opportunities for all students to learn at their own pace with respect, dignity, and success? Are there effective intervention checkpoints? Okay, so we have identified some differences. What is the leader's role in addressing the disparity? From the data, we can clearly see the problem. Students and faculty in the community college program feel excluded. The strategic mission is to ensure equal opportunity for all students, including the HTM students, to learn at their own pace with respect, dignity, and success. Essentially, the strategic mission is for inclusion. What role or what approach should leaders take? There are several approaches. Engage in strategic thinking. Leaders must remain active. They must be involved, connected, committed, alert, and stimulated. Leaders must have a vision or a moral purpose for inclusion across the college. Leaders here must translate this moral purpose and vision into an action plan. Communicate the strategy and encourage wide participation among all stakeholders. Facilitate articulation through structural support mechanisms such as activities for inclusion. Local entities have a significant role to play in this improvement plan. They could partner with the college to allow students to do work experience in their organization. They could also sponsor initiatives of different groups, including the Hospitality and Tourism Management Group. These local entities could also participate in strategic planning activities. In concluding, there is no strategic initiative without effective leadership. Essentially, leaders must apply practical wisdom and practical ethics to create new possibilities within organizations and to ensure equity. It is very important to apply the ethic of care. Our identity becomes at risk when we do not care about the difficult things in our complex world. We must endeavor to remain committed and dedicated to the basic challenges of living in a diverse world.